Hey, what's up, guys? So this is my first stream on here on YouTube, and what I wanted to do was to go through every single BlackBerry device ever made. Now, I haven't bought every single device. I've only got one. A lot of you will know that I've got the BlackBerry KEYone. I still have it, but it's died. It's died. So I haven't really got it anymore. It's not working. It's in my drawer. I couldn't get it to work. But what I wanted to do was to go through every single BlackBerry device and give my thoughts on each one. A bit about me. I used to sell BlackBerries back in the day when I had a phone business. I would buy BlackBerries and I would sell them. So I'd buy them off Gumtree, I'd buy them offline and sell them online. This was back in the days when you could get good deals and it was quite easy to sell online. So yeah, I used to get BlackBerries. Sometimes I used to refurbish them myself and sell them for a marked up profit, or I'll just get them for a good deal and sell them for a marked up profit. It wasn't exclusively BlackBerries, but it was mostly BlackBerries. Why? Because BlackBerries at that time, gosh, in its heyday, BlackBerry 9000, the Bold 9000, phones like that were absolutely, like the modern day iPhones are really, really popular, really popular. But they're also very easy to work with. It's very easy to get parts online and quite easy to fix. So it was quite good for a while, but for various reasons it didn't work out. But I had loads of BlackBerries just sitting in my room, just parts everywhere, components on the floor everywhere. And I got to know BlackBerries through and through. And this was well over 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, something like that. But yeah, I was a bit of a BlackBerry dork. And as people made the transition to iPhones, I held on to BlackBerry for as long as I could. But yeah, they died a painful death, as we all know. So anyway, my plan is to go on a trip back down to memory lane to have a look at all the BlackBerry devices. It's going to be a very long video, I think, and to give my reactions to them. Now, I haven't owned every single BlackBerry device, but we'll have a look at each one and I'll give my initial thoughts, that's for sure. If you have any comments, let me know. I'm still getting used to the streaming thing, so I might not see your comments, but I'll do my best to address them. But anyway, so what I've done here on the left screen is, and hopefully you can actually see my screen, otherwise this is a wasted stream. I've asked ChatGPT to give me a list of all the BlackBerry devices made. And just from an initial glance, I think it excludes, obviously, a few of the submodels which are linked to specific carriers. But looking at this list, I think it should be enough to get us going. So yeah, let's start from the beginning. You know what? I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna be really specific. Please list every single device, only excluding carrier specific devices. Let's see if it gives me a list. I just want a list of all the devices. Let's see. There we go. I think that's better. Excluding carrier specific models. Bloody hell. There's loads of them. And I haven't even heard of some of these. Wow. Okay, fine. Anyway, so let's go. So let's do the first one. And hang on, let me just say, please give me a paragraph explaining each of these models. Let's see if you can give me a paragraph for all these models. Right, there we go. So let's start with the BlackBerry 850, 857, 950 and 957. GPT says, launched between 1998 and 1999, these were BlackBerry's first email pages, starting with the interactive pager 950 and followed by the renamed BlackBerry 850 series. They introduced push email and two-way paging of a narrow bandwidth featuring physical keypads and long battery life. These models laid the foundation for mobile messaging and corporate communication dominance. So let's see. I've seen this BlackBerry before, these BlackBerries before. So let's see. But I can't quite remember. Oh, BlackBerry 850. Oh wow. Yeah, I've seen this one before. I haven't actually owned it. But I like the look of this. I think I'm a bit too young to. I definitely didn't see anyone with this BlackBerry. I guess it was called RIM back then. But I quite like the look of this. You know, it's very simple. If that's all it is, it's just very simple. Let's see. Very simple. Looks like it can easily fit into your hand and just be put away. And that's what I love. I know I'm going to say this so much throughout this video. I just love the keyboard. Oh my gosh. Look at these keyboards. Who wouldn't want a keyboard like this nowadays? That must have been a real joy to type on. And the simple display. Yeah. Oh, I think this phone, someone must have hacked this phone and made it, I don't know, probably not because it's so old, but this would be, I'm sure this would be very popular nowadays because there's such a resurgence of old devices, especially old BlackBerries and e-ink devices. So yeah, this one looks really nice. I really like the look of this. The only thing is I'm not sure where I guess it was just a speaker, right? It had to be on speakerphone, or I don't know how you meant to take calls on that. I can't see any obvious place to put it to your ear. But anyway, I'm sure someone can tell me. But yeah, that's cool. So let's look at the BlackBerry 857. Okay, yeah, I think I've actually owned this device before. If this is the 857, yeah, I've definitely had this one before. I probably got it in a job lot from memory. And yeah, that display is nice. Yeah, I vaguely remember this, but for sure this phone wasn't selling when I was selling BlackBerries, no way. As in, people were going for more advanced stuff. Obviously, some people were buying it, but this was quite basic in terms of its appearance. But I believe a phone like this would sell well nowadays. I don't know. I think so. That's my opinion. I think a phone like this would sell well nowadays, especially when you look at all these other e-ink phones. So let's look at is it the Bigme Hybrid Pro? I know it's a different phone. But the display isn't far off in terms of the icons. Here we go. It's not that far off. But yeah, I like the look of that. Anyway, let's go on to the next one. The BlackBerry 950. Alright, interesting. So you've got the BlackBerry 850 and the 950. Looks quite similar to the 850. Wow, look at the size of that. That's amazing. I don't know what the difference is. Maybe someone, I don't know if there's anyone watching this stream. Maybe someone can. No one's in this stream. That's a shame. Okay, anyway, let's continue. I like this. Right, BlackBerry 957. Okay, so this looks like it's a variant of the 857. I really like these docking stations. Who else likes these docking stations? These are fantastic. Oh, man, they have to bring these phones back. Anyway, let's move on to the Charm. I have never heard of the Charm actually. Have I heard of the Charm? Charm 7100 series, released around 2004. The Charm 7100 featured the Shure type hybrid keypad alongside a color display and Bluetooth support. It was BlackBerry's first mainstream consumer device, offering easier typing than T9 phones while remaining more compact than full keyboard models. BlackBerry Charm 7100. Ah, yeah, this one. I forgot about this phone. I forgot about it. I've potentially had this phone in stock at some stage. I can't remember. It's like the Pearl, because the Pearl came out a few years later. Yeah, it's like the Pearl. Yeah, I remember this. I don't remember using it, but gosh, you cannot forget these icons and that display. I'm not keen on this one personally. I don't like the look of it, but I can see why it was popular. Oh, it may have been popular. I don't know, but I can see why it would have been popular. The color display is pretty good. Released around 2004. Yeah, I remember this for sure. They had it in, I think, in O2 and Vodafone in the UK. Cool. All right. BlackBerry 7200, 7500, and 7700. Also launched in the early 2000s, these Java-based messaging phones iterated on the Charm's concept with color screens, data support, and improved hardware. They bridged the gap between early pages and full smartphones in BlackBerry's portfolio. BlackBerry 7200. Ah, is this it? No, let me take out the Charm. Yes. Any BlackBerry enthusiast will know this phone. I had this phone. And I remember the keyboard being very comfortable on it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you can see the BlackBerry nerd coming out in me. Oh gosh, I remember this phone. This phone was amazing to type on. Yeah. That is the ultimate phone right there. That is the ultimate phone right there in terms of typing experience and simplicity. Gosh. I will keep saying it, but it's a shame they don't make these anymore. Anyway. BlackBerry 7500. What's going on here? BlackBerry 7520. I don't remember this. With an antenna? I don't remember this. And there are hardly any images. I don't know. Is that a real one? For sure I don't remember this. Does anyone remember this? With the antenna? I don't remember that. Let's see. Let's ask. Why did the BlackBerry 75 have an antenna? It was designed to operate on the IDEN networks, and this thing is asking me to sign in, which need more of a robust signal option than antennas could. Okay, fine. Fair enough. So I guess this was a more powerful phone. And then it's because it ran on the IDEN networks, which needed a more robust signal solution than internal antennas could provide in those days. Okay, wow. I have never seen a BlackBerry phone with an antenna, so that's a learning curve for me. An external antenna, I should say. Fine. Anyway, did anyone own this phone? I have never seen anyone with this phone. Anyway, BlackBerry 7700. Yeah, I remember this one as well, and that keypad, that glowing keypad. Yeah. Nice phone. Nice phone. Anyway, let's go on to the BlackBerry 5000. I don't remember this either. Released mid-2000s, the 5000 and 6000 series ran Java OS and supported email messaging features. They were often simpler, entry-level devices aimed at users needing basic BlackBerry productivity without full smartphone OS complexity. So let's look at that. BlackBerry 5000. I think my memory is getting really bad. I don't remember half of these. Ugh. BlackBerry 5000. Let's see if anyone's in the chat who can help. No, no one's here. Okay. Right, I don't even know if this thing is still going. Yep, it's still going, I think. You need to change the video resolution. I don't know. We'll see if this works. But anyway, I can't see a BlackBerry 5000 phone. I don't remember that. No, I think someone in the comments is going to have to tell me where I can get a picture of that. I don't remember it. BlackBerry 6000. Let's maybe type in Java. No. I don't know if that's an error by GPT. I don't remember that. Let's see. BlackBerry 5000. Oops, I don't know why I wrote there. Series. Let's see what Google says. What the heck? There's nothing on it. Monochrome Java-based models. Let's go on fandom. I can't see a picture there. That's the thing. I want to see a picture. Anyway, I don't think we're going to find that picture. So let's crack on. Right, the Pearl series. I remember these. Pearls were very popular because they were very compact. And I didn't quite like them because I prefer a full QWERTY keyboard, which I don't think these had. But anyway, introduced in 2006, 2008, the Pearl brought multimedia functions like camera, music, player, and optical trackboard in a compact body. The Pearl Flip variants, oh yes, I remember the Flip, added a clamshell design while retaining BlackBerry's messaging features and physical keyboard experience. So let's see. The BlackBerry 8100. Yeah. Yeah, I remember this phone. It was a nice phone, to be fair. It was a nice phone. It just wasn't for me. I think at that time I preferred the full QWERTY experience. Anyway, the 8110. 8110. Yeah, similar. They're all pretty similar. Except for, let's see, the BlackBerry 8120. Okay. And then the 8130. They look pretty much the same. There must be network differences, I don't know. But the BlackBerry Flip, I remember that. BlackBerry Flip phone. I remember this. This was a nice phone. This was a very nice phone. Again, I didn't like the QWERTY experience, the non-QWERTY experience, but I loved this. It had this little clock on the front. Very sleek, very elegant. Look at that. Oof. Very nice. Very, very nice. And then BlackBerry 8230. I don't quite remember that. Okay, a bit different, I think. Yeah. Nice phones. I wonder if those are the only flip phones that BlackBerry did. Anyway, Curve 8300 series. This must have been one of their best-selling series because loads of people had Curves here in the UK. From 2007, this mid-range line combined full QWERTY keyboards with affordability. Models like the 8310 added GPS, and the 8350i delivered push email over CDMA. The Curve 8300 established appeal with consumers beyond enterprise users. Cool, I'm just going to check if anyone's in here. Nope. Okay, fine. Curve 8300. Yeah, memorable phone. Very memorable. Sold a lot of these because they were just so easy to take apart and change the casing on, change the track balls, the keyboards, everything like that. And they were good. They weren't elegant, but they were good. They were quite robust phones. Everyone will remember these ones. 8310. Yeah. Oh my gosh. The sat nav. Oh my gosh. Someone should use that nowadays if possible and put it on YouTube. 8320. Yeah, all pretty much the same. 8350i, I don't think I've seen. Yeah. It looks a bit thicker. I don't know if that's just the picture, but yeah, very nice phone. I like the colour, that black colour and the yellow. Yeah, that's very nice. Cool. Okay, BlackBerry 8800. This has to be one of my favourite BlackBerries as well. I've probably said that before. BlackBerry 8800, 8820, 8830 World Edition. I think I had the World Edition. Launched around 2007, the 8800 series featured larger screens, trackball navigation, GPS, and global network compatibility. The 8830 World Edition supported both GSM and CDMA, ideal for business travel. And these phones were expensive, from memory. These 8800s were not cheap. They were not cheap. This is it. Yeah. That is it. I remember this phone. Love this phone. Love this phone. Look at that. That was such a nice phone. Not in silver, but in black. That was such a nice phone. Yep. Okay. 8820. Yep. And the 8830. Yeah. Lovely phone. Lovely phone. There must be a way to hack these and make them workable today. Such beautiful phones. Oh, and then we get onto this one. The BlackBerry 9000, 9700, 9650 series. From 2008 to 2010, the Bold series represented BlackBerry's flagship era. The Bold 9000 introduced Wi-Fi, full QWERTY keyboard, and polished design. Successors like the 9700 and 9650 added optical trackpad, slimmer form factor, and improved performance, becoming iconic business devices. If you were around when this phone came out, you will know how nice this phone was. This phone was very nice. It was flash. It was really elegant and a lovely phone. It was very powerful as well at the time. And I'm pretty sure some people on Reddit even still have a lot of people have these phones as collectibles, but amazing phone. Absolutely love that phone. So I'll show you what it looked like. I had that for ages, the BlackBerry 9000, and really the only problems I ever had with the BlackBerry 9000 and generally the trackballs were that they would get worn from regular use. But apart from that, solid phones. Voila, there it is. That is a stunning phone right there. That phone was amazing. Let's see, how much does this phone cost now? Currently unavailable. Fair enough. Not expecting to get a new one, but I thought maybe they had a used one on here. But anyway, great phone. Look at that. That was an amazing phone. Let's see what the people. Oh, let's see what people say on Amazon. The first phone I bought. Oh, not a good review there. Not many on here on Amazon, but I wouldn't expect there to be. But this phone was definitely. This must have been one of Amazon's best sellers. BlackBerry's best sellers. Popularity. Let's see. A phone that defined BlackBerry's legacy. Yeah, they definitely defined their legacy. I wonder how many units they sold of this. Must have been a huge amount. Anyway, I can't find it. I don't want to bore you all, but yeah, that phone was absolutely amazing. The 9700, from memory, I think it was a very different design. Well, not very different, but angled design at the top. Yeah, this phone was very nice as well. Very nice phone, but it wasn't for me. I didn't like the sort of cambered top or whatever you want to call it. It was just not for me, but it was a nice phone. It was a nice phone. Anyway, the 9650, I don't remember that one at all. I guess that's similar to the 9700. But yeah, the BlackBerry Bold, classic, absolute classic. Right, then we get onto the Curve 8520, 8530, and 8900. Introduced in 2009 to 2010, these models offered entry-level price with core BlackBerry features. The 8520 added an optical trackpad at a budget price. The 8900 improved on design, display, and camera, bringing Curve closer to premium feel. So that's another thing which I didn't mention. You had the Bold 9000, then you had the 9700. The Bold 9000 had the trackball, and then the 9700 had the trackpad. The trackpads were much, much better, in my opinion. So, yeah. Let's see. Right, everyone's still here. Yeah, so 85. Yeah, so the BlackBerry Bold had the trackpads and whatnot. And then, anyway, the Bold was a more premium model. Then the Curve was sort of the middle range model, but the Curves were good. Like, come to think about it, it wasn't as bad as, let's say, I don't know, an iPhone 16 and an iPhone SE or whatever. The performance difference, from memory, was marginal in terms of what you actually experience. Like, you couldn't do much on those phones anyway, so. I don't think the performance difference was noticeable. I may be wrong. Maybe my memory's gone all fuzzy, but from my perspective, yeah, it was marginal differences, but it's more the design and more the hardware features aesthetically, which look better on the Bold. Right, so yeah, so anyway, BlackBerry 8520. Yeah, this phone, I think this is around the time I stopped selling Blackberries. But it was a good phone. It was a very popular phone. The Curve series were generally very popular. They were more affordable than the Bolds, which made them very appealing. 8530. Okay. yeah, all pretty similar. And the 8900. The 8900 had a trackball? I don't remember that. It did have a trackball. Crikey. No. Why do they offer a trackball? BlackBerry. Was it a textured trackball? I can't remember. Can anyone enlighten me? Why did they make a trackball for the 8900 when they were having the trackpads? I can't remember why. But yes, it definitely had a trackball. Need some clarity on that. Need to look into that. Anyway, let's just see. I'm not putting anyone to sleep. Cool. Then the Storm. The worst phone. This has to be the worst phone BlackBerry made. The BlackBerry Storm. I'm even tempted to skip it. It was so bad. So released 2008 to 2009. The Storm was BlackBerry's first full touchscreen device, featuring SurePress for tactile feedback and tapping. Reception was mixed due to usability issues. Mixed. It was rubbish. The Storm 2 refined hardware and software, but struggled to regain their confidence. The phone looked nice, and I remember them launching this phone, and it was awful. It was awful. Blackbird. There we go. This phone. Oh my gosh. It looked nice, but the responsiveness was just shocking. I think it has to be one of the worst devices I've ever used. I don't know what they were thinking with that one. It just wasn't happening. I think they were trying to compete with the iPhone. Just wasn't happening. So I'm not even going to bother to look at the other ones because they were such bad phones. And arguably it pretty much went downhill from there after that Storm came out. As I said, I wasn't selling BlackBerries around that time, but I don't think I was. But the Storm was atrocious. I don't know anyone who had it. Anyway, the Tor 9630. Launched in 2009, the Tor blended BlackBerry's messaging strengths with 3G data and GPS in a sleek slider form. It aimed for enterprise users seeking advanced data support without abandoning usability. I don't remember the Tor. I think this is when I started to venture beyond BlackBerry because it was just that Storm really messed them up. Let's see. I don't remember this phone whatsoever. It's a nice phone, but I don't understand why there's the trackball. Why they kept making it with the trackball. Anyway, as I said, I don't think I was using the BlackBerries around that time. I think the only other one I got was further on. The Z10, I think it was. But anyway. BlackBerry Torch. I remember this. Between 2010 and 11, the Torch line offered a touchscreen plus slide-out QWERTY keyboard, while later variants provided full touch form and upgraded internals. Touch devices represented BlackBerry's evolution toward a modern, touch-capable interface. I didn't have one, but I think they were pretty popular, but not that popular. This was around the time when people just stopped buying BlackBerries. Yeah, I remember this. It was a nice phone. It's like a Storm with a slider thing, but it just, yeah. I think the problem with BlackBerry is that they made so many funky designs and they tried to be innovative, in terms of the appearance, but they strayed so far away from what people knew and loved to try and compete with others. And I know it's easy with 2020 hindsight, as they say, but yeah, they just created all sorts of different devices, and there was just no consistency. At least with the iPhone, the iPhone hasn't changed much. Yes, it's more powerful now, but in terms of its form factor, it's pretty much the same. You know, they haven't done any funky designs really. Whereas BlackBerry, they were just doing everything. They were just like, it looks good, let's give it a go, let's release it. So they must have spent a huge amount of money on developing these products. But by this time, I would say after the Curve, I didn't see anyone really with BlackBerries that much. It was just a rapid decline. So, yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. So yeah, this is the 9860. It's all pretty similar. Alright, the Style 9670. In 2010, the Style 9670 was a flip phone with a Shaw type keyboard targeting users who preferred a clamshell style. It was a niche experiment combining traditional form factor with BlackBerry's messaging roots. I don't remember this. Let's see. BlackBerry Style 9670. What? I don't remember this phone. It was a flip phone. I have never seen this one in my life. Pros, nifty flip form factor, great voice quality, strong reception, cheaper plan prices than with the Sprint version. Cons, short battery life, pitiful app store, few decent apps available. And this is where BlackBerry ran into problems. There weren't really apps, or there were rubbish apps compared to the iPhone and whatnot. And it just wasn't good. I mean, it's not an ugly phone, but it just wasn't happening. Right, then we get to the Pearl 3G. Yeah, this phone was this phone was just like the Pearl, but with the trackpad and 3G ability, and probably an app store as well. I fair play to BlackBerry. At least they had the same sort of OS design, but I think it was that OS design that got them in trouble as well. So they gave 3G support and multimedia features. It's a nice phone. But I think it's a bit little too late. Right, then you get the Bold 9780. Released in 2010 to 11. These improved on the Bold 9700, a better camera, more RAM, and refined OS 7 experience. They delivered a polished blend of performance and design as BlackBerry's mature OS era advanced. I've definitely seen these. Definitely, yeah, I remember these. They are similar to the previous Bold. But by then, most people weren't using these. But it's a nice phone. Right, then we get into the curves, loads of curves. Between 2011 to 2013, these curve models offered incremental improvements. Dual SIM support, I didn't realise that. Refined keyboards, better cameras, and OS 7, BB7 compatibility. They served as solid mid-range options up to the end of BBOS devices. Yeah, I remember this. Yeah, same as the other curves, right? Then in 2012, this was when they changed the OS, and it was BBOS, wasn't it? BBOS? I can't remember. Anyway, they changed the OS, I think. The Porsche design. This was a bloody expensive phone. And it came out, obviously. Oof, gold. They collaborated with Porsche to make this phone. It is a nice phone, to be fair, but was it worth the price tag? Yeah, it was a very nice phone. So yeah, they targeted, these are premium materials, distinctive styling, and high price tag, targeting affluent users seeking an upscale BlackBerry experience. I'm pretty sure people still use these. Might be wrong. I'm sure I've seen it on the BlackBerry subreddit that people use these. But I might be wrong. Anyway, I definitely didn't have one. I think this was my last sort of full usage of BlackBerry, was the Z10 or Z30, can't remember. From 2013, BlackBerry's first BB10 full touch phones. The Z10 debuted the new gesture-based OS, followed by the larger Z30 for high-end specs and the budget Z3 for emerging markets. These models aim to modernize BlackBerry's image. Yeah, I remember getting this phone and smashing the screen, which I wasn't very happy about. But it was a good phone. It was definitely a different experience. Definitely a different experience than other BlackBerries. Different operating system. And it was good at the time. I thought it was a good device at the time. But it definitely wasn't a BlackBerry like we know BlackBerry. And it was. It was a touchscreen device, which was nice, but yeah, I think people were really jumping on the touchscreen bandwagon. It was very popular for understandable reasons, and yeah, it was a good phone, and it was good at its time. It was good at its time, but obviously it wasn't. It was a very different experience from the iPhone, but it definitely wasn't a poorly performing phone. It was a good phone. It was a decent phone. It was a solid phone, but it just wasn't the same BlackBerry experience of having that physical keyboard. But a good phone nonetheless. The Q10, yes, and the Q5. Lovely phones. That's some supplements. This is an underrated phone. I really like this phone, and I think actually, I don't think I owned one, but I definitely held one, and it was a very nice phone. I liked the fact that that keyboard was there, but it had the new operating system from memory, and it was good. It was responsive, and it felt modern, and it was a solid phone, very solid phone. So yeah, it says here also 2013 BB10 with QWERTY keyboards. Q10 targeted flagship buyers with traditional layouts and BB10 performance, while the Q5 offered a lower cost variant with similar keyboard experience for mid-tier users. Yeah, the Q5 was a bit cheaper, but it was also a good phone. Different, but good phone. It was a good phone. It's just the keyboards. That's what BlackBerry should have. I mean, it was tough. It was tough, but it was the keyboards that people loved with BlackBerry. Just that experience of typing. And the Passport launched and used a square 1440 by 1440 display, 3GB RAM, blah blah blah. Designed for widescreen productivity and document viewing, it offered the most radical form factor in BB10's lineup. This was a statement phone, and from what I know, this phone is, obviously if you type in Passport, it ain't gonna work. But this phone was a statement phone, and people are, I think, modifying this phone at the moment, or have modified this phone to run different operating systems on here. So I'm sure I'll find a link. I'll put it in the description. So people are repurposing this phone now because the display was massive. The display is absolutely massive, and it's very much a statement phone. I haven't actually used it. I know someone who had it. Actually, no, I used it once, but I can't really remember what it was like to use. But the keyboard was very different. It was QWERTY, but it was obviously stretched out. So I don't know how the typing experience was on that, to be fair, if it was as good as the smaller BlackBerries. But the display was very crisp and lovely. I would probably get one, to be fair, just as a collectible. Maybe to modify if I have the time. But it was a very... I mean, BlackBerry, in fairness, they had some statement phones, and this was definitely one of them. The Q20. Let me see if anyone's joined. Oh, I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, the Q20, released 2014. The classic revives bold era navigation and keyboard with BB10, including a touchscreen, sensitive trackpad, larger navigation buttons, and 3.5-inch screen aimed at long-time BlackBerry users wanting modern OS with familiar design. I really don't remember this. That is a nice phone. I've seen it, but I haven't seen people use it. That is a very nice phone. Very sleek. Yeah. I might be wrong in saying that people are also modifying this phone. I might be wrong, but I'll have a look. Right, then you get to the Leap. In 2015, the Leap was a full-touch BB10 model aimed at enterprise buyers needing a durable, cost-effective device with security features, offering 2 GB RAM, LTE support, and long battery life in the business-focused package. I didn't have this one, but I've seen it. I don't know how well it did. But yeah, it looks like an Android phone, right? I don't know. Anyone had this one? If so, let me know in the comments. Because yeah. It's like a nice phone. Fair play. BlackBerry Priv. I thought this was one of the last phones, but there's a few more anyway. BlackBerry Priv launched late 2015 as BlackBerry's first Android smartphone, a slider device with Snapdragon 808, 5.4-inch curved AMOLED display, high-res camera, sliding keyboard, and secure BlackBerry enhancements. It represented a transition to Android while retaining BlackBerry's core identity. BlackBerry. Yeah, I think my cousin had this phone. You know, as I said earlier, they really had some unique designs, and this is definitely one of them. Yeah. I remember when this whole Android thing came about, I was never a big fan of Android. Sorry, Android users. I just don't like Android. But yeah, it's like a nice phone. The only thing that I don't like is this, actually. It looks a bit ugly, that camera, essentially. But that's just my opinion. Right, and then you've got these D-Tech 50, D-Tech 60. In 2016, these Android-based phones were produced by TCL D-Tech 50. By TCL. Okay, by the TCL. D-Tech 50 was a budget mid-range model. D-Tech 60 offered a premium build and camera. Both emphasized built-in security software from BlackBerry as their marketing differentiator. I have never seen these phones. Brutal. Secure, but not special. There's no branding on it. Oh, God. Bloody subscriptions. Oh, you just have the logo on the back. What about a D-Tech 60? It's like a gloss. Looks like any old Android phone, to be fair. Alright. And then we get on to these last few. KEYone, Motion, KEY2, KEY2 LE, Aurora, Evolve, and Evolve X. KEYone, I've already put a video on the channel about this. Because I have one in my drawer. Lovely phone. It is a lovely phone. It is on Android, but it's a good phone. KEY2 was a bit more powerful, from what I've been told. But they're still expensive to this day. I think they cost about £200 here in London. That's a lot of money for a phone which doesn't really work properly. I know people get them to work, don't get me wrong, but yeah, that's a lot of money. But they are nice phones, I guess. The BlackBerry Motion. I don't think I've actually seen this one. Oh, 1 second. Right, so we're back. Yeah, so this one, BlackBerry Motion, mid-range Android handset with design, solid design, good security, and excellent battery life. It's nice, but it's what people just weren't going for this stuff. You know, that's the thing. People wanted iPhones, apps, Samsungs, all these, you know, they wanted a lifestyle device. And these phones, they gave that, but not that well. Right, KEY2 LE, BlackBerry Aurora. Yeah, I've never seen this phone. Yeah, this was definitely downhill. Alright, let's see. Evolve. Yeah, and Evolve X. So yeah, as you can see here in GPT, it says Aurora, Evolve X were regional models in Indonesia and India, offering similar keyboard experiences at more accessible price points. Yeah. So I guess that's pretty much it. That's it in terms of the devices. Obviously, there's some devices which I haven't gone into that much detail with, and carrier-specific devices. But I hope that gives you an idea of the amount of devices which BlackBerry produced, the different types, the evolution from the little pager ones to these full touchscreen devices. People, the resurgence is real. People are modifying these BlackBerries to get them working properly and practically in 2025, which is fantastic. But what I will say is that for me personally, I miss the BlackBerries with the keyboards, the older ones, the old chunky ones. They're just so nice. They're just absolutely amazing devices, and if anyone has any insight as to whether those devices are being modified to work on modern what's it called, networks and bandwidths, whatever they are, and let me know, because they're lovely phones to type. I wish I could get my email on one of those old phones. If I can get my email on one of those phones, I think it was like the 7200. I would be using it every day. Let's see. Was it the 7200? God, I just missed it. Yeah, BlackBerry. Someone out there must have gotten this to work. Let's see, work in 2025. Come on, no, will not work. Oh man, that is a real shame. Yeah. Someone must be able to hack it. Yeah, so there's some videos here on YouTube, but anyway, why don't we do this? If someone can tell me the earliest BlackBerry model that can be used, let's say in the UK or US in 2025, that'd be great. I'm gonna have a look myself because I'm very curious. But yeah, if anyone knows, then let me know. That'd be cool to see if we can get one of these old devices featured on the channel, working years and years on, because they are robust devices, and I'm sure they work now, but in terms of the network capability, they won't work. But those type of devices will keep going and going. So yeah, I know this might have been a boring video for a lot of you, but I thought, let me record this, go through the history of the different BlackBerry devices and their evolution. And I'm actually quite tired now from going through all of it. So yeah, hopefully that's been interesting and entertaining to some of the geeks out there. And if there's anything I've missed or mistakes I've made, let me know. Or if there's anything you want me to talk about when it comes to BlackBerries, drop me a comment. It'd be great if you could like and subscribe, all of that sort of stuff. And yeah, until next time, see you soon.